Have you ever had a moment where everything around you looked the same, but something inside you didn't? Where life still moved the way it always does, the same routine, the same conversations, the same people, but you suddenly felt different, as if a quiet earthquake happened somewhere deep within your chest. You can't explain it, you can't point at it, but you can feel it. Your emotions intensify. Your mind becomes louder than usual. Your old habits stop making sense. And people you once felt close to suddenly feel strangely distant. And you find yourself asking, am I breaking down? Or is something trying to break through? What if I told you that what feels like falling apart is often the first sign of waking up? What if this discomfort isn't a mistake, but an initiation, an invitation into a part of yourself you've never met before? Spiritual awakening is not a peaceful, enlightened moment where you suddenly float into bliss. It's messy, it's confusing, it's emotional. And it often starts with silence on the outside and chaos on the inside. The journey is not poetic at first. It's practical, it's psychological, it's deeply human. Because before a new version of you emerges, the older version begins to crumble. Your beliefs, your fears, your patterns, your identity, everything you once lived by starts loosening its grip. Most people don't even realize they're awakening. They think they're losing themselves, but in reality, they're meeting themselves for the very first time. Hello everyone, welcome to my Sanity Hub. And in today's video, I'm going to guide you through the real practical stages of spiritual awakening, the stages people silently experience but rarely understand. And by the end of this video, not only will you know what's happening to you, you'll know why it's happening and who you are slowly becoming. Every spiritual awakening begins quietly, not with an explosion, but with a soft tap on the heart. It's almost like the universe whispers, "It's time." And without even realizing, you step into the very first stage, the trigger phase. Imagine this. You're living your life the way you always have. Busy, distracted, running on autopilot. Nothing dramatic, nothing unusual, just life. And then one day, something shifts. Sometimes it's big, a breakup, a betrayal, losing someone, a sudden change that shakes your entire world. But sometimes it's something unbelievably small. A conversation, a random sentence in a book, a line from a movie, or even a moment of silence that suddenly feels heavier than usual. You don't understand it at first. You just feel different, a little more sensitive, a little more aware, a little more awake than you were yesterday. You start noticing things you never noticed before, the tone behind someone's words, the energy of a room, your own thoughts echoing louder than usual. Suddenly, repeating patterns begin to make sense. Red flags you once ignored now feel obvious. People you tolerated for years start feeling draining. And your soul starts nudging you. It feels like an inner alarm has gone off, not loud, not scary, but persistent, calling you. This is the trigger phase. It's the moment life pushes you out of your old story and into a new chapter. A chapter you didn't ask for, but deeply needed. You are not transforming yet. You're only becoming aware that transformation is needed. That subtle discomfort, that sudden restlessness, that feeling that something is missing, even if everything looks fine, that's your awakening knocking on the door. This stage is confusing because nothing makes sense. You feel pushed, pulled, guided, shaken, all at the same time. But this is how it always begins. Not with clarity, not with answers, but with a question inside your heart. Is this really all there is? And that single question is powerful enough to change your entire life. And once the trigger phase begins, once that inner whisper becomes too loud to ignore, life slowly guides you into the next stage, the breakdown phase. A stage almost everyone fears, a stage most people misunderstand. Because this is where the awakening doesn't just call you, it shakes you. This is the part of the journey where your old life begins to fall apart, piece by piece. Not because you did something wrong, but because everything that no longer aligns with your soul starts collapsing on its own. In the breakdown phase, you wake up one morning and feel like you don't recognize yourself anymore. Your emotions feel heavier, your patience gets thinner, your mind becomes louder, and your heart becomes more fragile than ever. This is where the questions begin. Why am I crying so easily? Why does everything feel overwhelming? Why does it feel like life is slipping out of my hands? And the truth is, life isn't slipping away. Your old self is. This phase can show up in many forms. Sometimes it's emotional, a sudden wave of sadness or emptiness you can't explain. Sometimes it's mental, confusion, overthinking, losing interest in things that once excited you. Sometimes it's physical, exhaustion, headaches, restlessness, insomnia. And sometimes it's life itself. Relationships breaking, friendships fading, jobs ending, truths coming out, situations forcing you to confront everything you've avoided for years. This is the stage where the universe removes everything that cannot come with you into your next chapter. And that removal hurts. It feels like a breakdown, but it is actually a break open, your life cracking just enough for light to enter. People often think, I'm losing myself. But in reality, you're losing everything that was never you. This is the storm before the rebirth, the darkness before the clarity, the shaking before the awakening. Nothing makes sense here. You feel alone, confused, drained. You start questioning your sanity, your path, your identity. But all of this, every tear, every ending, every collapse, is clearing space inside you. Because until the old breaks, the new cannot be born. And this breakdown, as painful as it feels, is the sacred beginning of your transformation. And once the breakdown has cracked your inner world open, something unexpected begins to happen. Not chaos, not pain, but silence. A silence that feels unfamiliar at first. A silence that slowly pulls you inward. And this silence leads you straight into the next stage, the isolation phase. This is the part of the awakening journey where you begin withdrawing from the world, not because you want to, but because your soul leaves you no choice. Suddenly, crowds feel louder, small talk feels heavier, and the people you once felt safe with now feel emotionally distant. It's not that they changed, you did. In this phase, you start craving space, not physical space, but energetic space. Space to breathe, to think, to feel, to understand what's happening inside you. It's almost like your soul says, "Come home, we need to talk." During the isolation phase, you lose interest in meaningless conversations. You stop trying to impress or explain yourself. You become selective with your energy. You feel disconnected from your old world, but not yet connected to the new one. You're in between, suspended, floating, somewhere between who you were and who you are becoming. This phase can feel lonely, but the truth is, you are not alone. You are simply being separated from everything that distracts you from meeting yourself. For the first time, your soul has your undivided attention. People often mistake this stage for depression, but it isn't. It's an energetic retreat, a sacred pause. Your soul is recalibrating your direction, your relationships, your identity, your desires. You begin to see people differently. You begin to see life differently. You begin to see yourself differently. Some friendships fade quietly. Some connections end abruptly. Some patterns feel too heavy to carry. And even though it hurts, you know, deep down, that this isolation is protecting your becoming. Because in this silence, you discover truths you never noticed, wounds you never healed, and strength you never recognized. This is not loneliness. This is alignment. The isolation phase is your cocoon, the place where your old self dissolves so your new self can slowly take form. And once this cocoon has done its work, you begin to step into the next stage of awakening, a stage where your inner world starts to stabilize and your transformation becomes clearer. And then, after the silence, after the retreat, after the world outside grows dim and your inner world grows louder, something shifts. The fog doesn't fully clear, but you begin to see shapes in the darkness, patterns, memories, truths. This is where the real journey begins, in the healing and inner work phase. This phase is not gentle, not easy, not glamorous, but it is the most transformative part of your spiritual awakening, because this is the moment you stop running from yourself and finally turn inward. Here, you begin to see the parts of you you've avoided for years, your fears, your wounds, your insecurities, your suppressed emotions, your childhood patterns, your triggers, your shadows. You meet the version of yourself you kept hidden even from your own eyes. In this phase, you start recognizing toxic patterns you once justified. You realize some behaviors weren't normal, they were survival. You see how your childhood shaped your emotional responses. You understand why you attract certain people. You uncover the beliefs that limit you. You meet the wounds you never gave yourself permission to feel. This is the inner work phase. It is uncomfortable. It is confronting, but it is liberating. For the first time, you stop blaming the world and start understanding yourself. You stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start realizing this is coming from me. You learn to sit with your emotions instead of escaping them. You begin journaling, meditating, breathing, reflecting, crying, releasing. You start connecting the dots between your past and your present. You understand why certain relationships drained you, why certain situations triggered you, why certain fears controlled you. And slowly, very slowly, you begin rewriting your inner story. In this stage, healing doesn't happen all at once. It happens in small, gentle bursts, like tiny lights flickering on in a dark room, one realization at a time, one release at a time, one truth at a time. You confront your shadows, but you also meet your light. You begin forgiving yourself, loving yourself, understanding yourself. And something magical happens. Your energy starts shifting. Your choices become clearer. Your boundaries become stronger. Your self-worth begins rising. This is the phase where your soul cleans the room before you can move into a new home. And once this inner cleansing is complete, you step into the next stage, the transformation phase, the phase where life begins reflecting your inner transformation. This is the phase where your inner work finally begins to show on the outside. Your energy changes first, then your choices, then your life. For the first time in a long time, you feel a sense of clarity, a soft inner knowing that wasn't there before. Your mind becomes quieter, your heart feels lighter, your reactions become calmer, your awareness becomes sharper. You start noticing yourself choosing differently. You stop chasing people. You stop tolerating disrespect. You stop apologizing for your boundaries. You stop shrinking to fit into old spaces. You begin moving from survival to alignment. This is the phase where you remove yourself from draining situations, you walk away from people who do not value you, you make decisions that honor your peace. You start speaking your truth without fear. You feel connected to your intuition again. You become more authentic, more grounded, more you than ever. Your soul starts leading instead of your fears. You begin attracting healthier connections, not because you prayed for them, but because you finally became someone who no longer settles for less. Your dreams shift, your passions return, your creativity flows, your sense of purpose awakens. You start seeing life differently, not as something that happens to you, but something that happens through you. And the most beautiful part? The world around you begins rearranging itself to match the new you. Synchronicities appear, signs increase, opportunities open, the right people enter, the wrong ones fall away. This is the metamorphosis stage, the point where your old self has already died and the new self is finally beginning to live. It's not perfection, it's evolution. And once you fully step into this new version of yourself, you naturally move into the next stage, the integration phase, the phase where everything aligns and life begins to feel guided again. This is the stage where everything you've learned slowly becomes a part of who you are, not as knowledge, not as theory, but as lived truth. You realize you no longer have to try to choose peace. You naturally lean toward it. You no longer force yourself to set boundaries. Your energy sets them for you. You no longer cling to people out of fear. You allow what's meant to stay and release what's not. This is the integration phase, the phase where your spiritual awakening moves from your mind to your heart to your everyday life. In this stage, your past no longer controls you. You respond instead of reacting. You understand your emotions instead of running from them. Your inner voice becomes clearer and kinder. Your intuition becomes your guide, not your enemy. You finally feel a sense of inner stability returning. You begin to take the lessons from your healing and apply them in real-life situations, in your relationships, your choices, your work, your boundaries, your self-worth. You start living with intention, not autopilot. You experience moments of pure presence, a calm morning, a deep breath, a meaningful conversation, a silent evening, and you realize you are no longer the same person who entered the trigger phase. You feel wiser, lighter, softer, yet stronger. Your life still has challenges, but now you face them with awareness, not fear. You no longer break when things go wrong. You bend, you adapt, you understand. In this phase, your inner and outer worlds begin to align. You feel connected to something greater, your purpose, your soul, your truth, the universe itself. This is where spirituality becomes grounded, not an escape, not a phase, not a crisis, but a way of living. And once you have fully integrated this new way of being, you step into the final stage of awakening, the awakening stage or higher consciousness phase, a stage of deep peace, connection, and service. This is the phase people talk about, dream about, search for, but few truly understand it. Because higher consciousness doesn't arrive with fireworks, it arrives quietly, like sunrise slipping through your curtains after the longest, darkest night. In this stage, you don't just think differently, you see differently. You see the world without filters. You see people through compassion, not judgments. You see situations through awareness, not fear. You see yourself with a softness you've never known before. You stop fighting life and start flowing with it. Your intuition becomes your inner compass, clear, steady, reliable. Signs and the synchronicities no longer feel rare, they feel natural, normal, guided. You begin to experience moments of deep inner peace, even in chaos, spontaneous gratitude for small things, emotional detachment from drama and conflict, clarity about your purpose, alignment with your true self, a sense of connection to the universe that words cannot explain. You stop asking, "Why is this happening to me?" and start understanding, "This is happening for me." You no longer chase outcomes, you trust divine timing. You don't cling, you don't panic, you don't resist. Instead, you move with life like water moves with the river, effortlessly, naturally, intuitively. Your mind becomes a tool, not a master. Your heart becomes your guide. Your soul becomes your home. And perhaps the most beautiful part, you realize awakening isn't about escaping the human experience. It's about embracing it with full consciousness. You still feel emotions, but now you understand them. You still face challenges, but now you rise through them. You still walk through life, but now you walk with awareness, not fear. This stage fills you with a subtle, powerful knowing. I'm not lost, I'm guided. I am not alone, I'm connected. I am not breaking, I am becoming. Here, your presence itself becomes healing. Your energy becomes calm. Your voice becomes grounded. Your actions become intentional. And at this point, you realize something profound. Spiritual awakening was never a destination. It was a remembrance, a return to who you always were, a soul awakening inside a human journey. And now, you are ready for life in its truest, most conscious form. And that is the journey. Not a straight road, not a pretty road, but a transformational one. If you listened carefully, you might have seen pieces of your own story hidden inside each stage. The confusion, the breakdowns, the silence, the healing, and finally, that moment when something inside you finally whispers, "I'm not the same person anymore. I've grown." Spiritual awakening isn't about becoming perfect. It's about becoming aware, more present, more grounded, more you. And if even one part of today's video felt like it was speaking directly to your soul, then trust me, you are already awakening, right now, in this very moment. But don't walk this journey alone. If this video helped you understand your own spiritual path, even a little, hit the like button. Not for the algorithm, but so this message reaches someone who silently needs it today. Comment below and tell me, which stage do you think you're in right now? Your story might help someone else feel less alone. And if you want more deep, soulful videos like this, guidance, real talk, emotional healing, inner work, then make sure you subscribe and turn on the bell. Because this channel is not just content, it's a community of awakening souls walking each other home. Until next time, keep listening to your soul. It always knows the way.